let's get you a check of your 4-zone forecast tonight. Taking a live look from our Mount Tam camera. A lot of fog hanging around.
Yeah, and KRON 4's Gail Long is here. Gail, so the heat wave ending, I hope, but still a little drama out there.
Yeah, you know, it is still warm, but we don't have that excessive heat. We don't have any heat warnings or advisories in place, at least for the Bay Area. There is still some heat in the Central Valley and the Sacramento area, but look at today's highs, much more comfortable than what we have been seeing, right? 111 degrees we saw this week, record-breaking heat in Livermore. Now 91 degrees is the high today. We see some 70s, some upper 80s, so we're close to normal temperatures for July. And let's take a look at the difference. About 10 degrees down this time yesterday. So much cooler, much more comfortable. Even some mild temperatures this evening in the 50s and 60s. We have some calm winds. Delta breeze kicking up in Fairfield at 28 miles per hour, bringing relief to the Sacramento area. We just have some high clouds passing through the area. Now we do have some active weather, believe it or not. We are getting remnants from monsoonal moisture. We're getting into that time of year, so you can see the Tahoe area seeing some showers on the radar, and we did see some lightning strikes on the radar earlier today, so that will be a concern with the fuel still so dry. There is a risk of fire concerns, especially in the Sierra and the mountains. So we'll be talking about that as the evening goes by, but just overnight fog, maybe some coastal drizzle in the morning, and then some afternoon sun for you inland. So for the rest of your weekend, much more comfortable temperatures, still warm in the low 90s, upper 70s and 60s by the coast. I'll be back with your extended forecast. We'll be talking about what's to come. It looks like we'll have taken a break from this heat, but we do see more heat on the way the following week. Back to you.
All right, Gail, thanks a lot. All right, let's get you a check of your forecast now. Taking another live look. This is from our Sutro Tower camera. We can see the fog starting to crawl in over downtown San Francisco tonight. KRON 4's Gail Long joining us now with a look at what to expect. Hey, Gail.
Hello, Dan. And we don't have any heat warnings or advisories in the Bay Area, but we do have heat left over across the state, mainly the Central Valley and the Tahoe area, the Sierra Nevada, and close to Southern California. A live look at SFO. A nice night out. It's pretty quiet now. We just have some high clouds passing through, but notice the activity in the mountains. You can see we have this monsoonal moisture, remnants of that, and we're getting into that time of year where we could see some dry lightning in the forecast, even seeing some lightning strikes on our satellite and radar. So definitely going to be a concern as we get through the night and for Sunday, especially when that daytime heating kicks up. So here is your 4-zone forecast. Temperatures, though, much more comfortable than it has been. Well, the coast of San Francisco, you'll still be in the 60s, upper 60s by the Mission District. Over by the beaches, upper 50s and mid to low 60s there. And of course, the fog will be hanging out there by the coast. 61 degrees for you in South San Francisco, 80 in Burlingame. And as you make your way towards San Carlos, we're seeing some 70s, 75 in Mountain View. Gets warmer over in San Jose at 83 degrees and a lot of 80s in Santa Clara County. Does still remain hot in our Tri-Valley area, 92 in Pleasanton, 90 in Livermore. Much a difference than the 100+ degree we've been having in Livermore. 84 in Sunol, 74 for you in Union City to Contra Costa County. That's when we're still going to see some 90s hanging out in places like Brentwood and Discovery Bay. 91 in Danville, 70s along the East Bay shoreline in places like Oakland and Berkeley, 88 in Yountville, and we're seeing 80s and upper 70s in Wine Country, 78 for you in Santa Rosa. And then the coast, you've been pretty cool, you know, during the whole heat wave, so that has been the place to beat the heat. Your 7-day outlook, take a look at the temperatures, much more comfortable than we have been. We're close to seasonable averages in the month of July, so enjoy it if you have been sensitive to the heat. It has been very challenging, you know, it's been very hot, but I do have to show you the 10 of 10. We do see some heat the following week, but I don't think it'll be as hot, but we are keeping an eye on it.
Okay, not as bad as it could
Yeah,
be.
exactly. I know you don't like the heat.
Stay present, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Gail.
Sure.
All right, still ahead. Noel Bello, thank you. Now to our 4-zone forecast. Taking a live look at the San Mateo Bridge tonight. Decent amount of people out there on the roads. A little bit of haze, it seems like.
And KRON 4's Gail Long is back with a look ahead. Gail.
Yes, we have some fog rolling in this evening, and we are actually getting out of a heat advisory. We just did in the last hour or so. Temperatures are quite mild. Let's take a look at the state, though, because we still have a heat warning in places like Fresno. You can see 91 degrees right now in Fresno, 90 in Las Vegas, and 50s by the coast in San Francisco. Now take a look at current temperatures a little closer to home in the Bay Area. We have 90s in Fairfield, so pretty warm in Concord still, and 50s still around the coast. We just have those high clouds passing through, but as I take you through the satellite and radar, notice the activity. We have some showers in the Sierra Nevada and most of Nevada, as you can see. This is remnants of some monsoonal moisture that time of year. A little closer look around the Tahoe area. You can see some thunderstorms. That's the satellite and radar is picking up lightning. So this is a concern for fire danger. This is a fire weather model, not a lot of risk in the Bay Area. This is Sunday, 3 p.m. I'll point your attention over to the Tahoe area. You can just see that red and orange there. There is actually a red flag warning this weekend. So something to keep a lookout because we are concerned about dry lightning. See some slight risk as well Monday. And so with that said, if you're heading to the mountains, just keep your eye to the sky Sunday, expecting some scattered showers and some possible thunderstorms. It's that time of year. You could just, you may think it's sunny, but then that daytime heating kicks up. We could see some isolated thunderstorms. Now let's talk about the heat, okay? Because long-range forecast models are still showing above average temperatures, but let's take a look at the 10 to 10 and what it's showing us. So it looks like we're close to normal for the month of July for the next week, but the week after that, Monday, Tuesday, and about, so we have a nice week of comfortable temperatures, but take a look, close to triple-digit heat. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. That was a very intense heat wave we've had over the last couple of days. Back to you.
A 3-year-old.
Okay, let's take a live look now at SFO.
Yeah, a little bit of fog there off in the distance. KRON 4's Gail Long giving us a look at the forecast. Hey, Gail.
Hello, Dan and Catherine. We are taking a break from the heat. We just got out of a heat advisory around 9 o'clock. So that is some relief, right? So these are today's highs. You can see Livermore, a huge difference. 91 degrees was the high today. Much better than the 111 degrees we saw this week. Not once, but at least twice. So we saw some record-breaking heat. 99 in Napa. So we're starting to trend down with the temperatures, close to normal averages in the month of July, because boy, did we start off on a hot one. Temperatures right now are pretty mild, still reading 70 degrees in Livermore, 63 in Fairfield, and upper 50s in San Francisco. 18 miles per hour wind speeds in Fairfield, so that's nice delta breeze. If you're in the Sacramento area, you know what I'm talking about. Very cooling, very comfortable for the evenings there. And then we are watching some lightning strikes, the threat of some dry lightning around the Sierra Nevada, so that will be a concern, and around the Central Valley, around the Fresno area. So looking ahead, you see the fog there from the East Bay Hills. Low 90s for you inland for the next couple of days and perhaps a week. Upper 70s around the Bay and 60s by the coast. When I come back, we'll have your 7-day forecast. Much more comfortable temperatures, but still pretty warm. Back to you.
Let's get you a check of your forecast now. Taking a live look right now at the Bay Bridge. Some traffic moving into the city on this evening.
And Gail is back talking about what she's calling more normal weather, Gail.
Yes, it looks like that heat is behind us for now. A nice break after about roughly 2 weeks of extreme heat. So I'll show you our map here. You can see we don't have any watches or warnings in the Bay Area, but we still have some heat in the state. So the areas of concern are in the Central Valley and the Sierra Nevada and close to Southern California, where there is still a heat warning in place. Live look at SFO, very calm night in the Bay Area, and you can just see high clouds rolling in on satellite and radar. We are watching a few lightning strikes on our satellite right here. So this is over by the mountains. There's actually a red flag warning in the Sierra Nevada that will be going into place this weekend. And so if you're heading to the high country, just keep your eye to the sky. That will be an area we are watching. As we know, dry lightning could cause and spark wildfires. So that's something to keep in mind, especially tomorrow, that daytime heating. It is still warm in some places in the state, but in the Bay Area, much more comfortable temperatures. 60s for you in San Francisco around the beaches, near normal with the upper 50s and low 60s. Over by the peninsula, 61 in South San Francisco, 80 gets a little warmer in Burlingame. 70s around the peninsula in San Mateo, Palo Alto expecting 81 degrees. We have a little warmer in the 80s in San Jose, Campbell, Los Gatos, 81 in Morgan Hill. Morgan Hill is one of the hottest areas so much. We got some relief there, even for you, Livermore. 90 degrees expected tomorrow. That's about like 11 degrees cooler than we were last week. And a 92 in Brentwood. So the areas in Contra Costa County, the inner East Bay, expecting to be the warmest. So even though we are close to normal temperatures, we're still pretty hot inland. So just keep that in mind, but not as hot with that 100-degree weather. 78 for you in Santa Rosa, 60s by the coast. And here's your 7-day outlook. We have 90s inland, sunny skies, 70s by the bay, 60s by the coast. So much more seasonable averages for the month of July, but still hot inland. Something to keep in mind, we are watching another heat spike the following week. So that is just something to look out for. Back to you.
All right, Gail, thanks a lot. Coming up in
At the view from our Mount Tam camera. Oh, that's really beautiful. KRON 4's Gail Ong is here with the latest on the weather.
Yes, you can see the marine layer present. You know, also see the clouds rolling in here at SFO. Temperatures are trending down. You may have noticed this weekend, upper 50s right now, where we are currently sitting at 60s in Oakland, 70s in Livermore, much cooler, about 30 degrees. 40 degrees rather cooler than it was earlier in the week, and Concord still in the 70s, and then over by Half Moon Bay the upper 50s. So not much of a big change. Down 5 degrees in Novato, so about 1 to 5 degrees. A little breeze here for the afternoon and evening, and we have Fairfield at 24 miles per hour, that Delta breeze. Overnight lows, so we have the fog rolling in once again and some coastal drizzle in the morning, so you may notice that during your morning commute. And then you'll notice that marine layer is pretty persistent, even pushing inland. By the late morning, it looks like things start to mix out, and we'll see some afternoon sun for you inland, but the clouds will be rolling in and hanging out by the coast as usual. So temperatures will be close to normal, and low 90s, upper 80s over by you inland, and then 70s and 60s around the bay and coast. Back to you.
Thank you, Gail. A local female. All right, time for another look at the forecast as we look live at the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza. Gail is back. Gail, you're saying we're kind of out of the heat and basically enjoying normal temperatures.
Yes, exactly. You may have noticed the temperatures trending downward this weekend. It's going to look like that this week. You can see the clouds over here by the East Bay Hills. And let's take a look at our weather pattern. So we have this trough pattern that's been cooling us down. We do have a bit of some subtropical moisture coming our way and monsoonal moisture, which is why you see some lightning strikes, especially around the Sierra Nevada. So we are concerned about dry lightning that can mix with those dry fuels and spark wildfires. So we're keeping an eye on that. Meanwhile, temperatures are pretty comfortable tomorrow. These are the highs for San Francisco in the 60s, mid 60s in downtown San Francisco. Over by the beaches, the coast have been pretty seasonal. That has been, really didn't see a lot of changes. So you just have, upper 50s and 60s. South San Francisco around the 60s as well. 75 as you make your way towards Burlingame. And then when we start to warm up to the 70s, by Mountain View to Santa Clara County into South Bay, we start to see some 80s. So we're not seeing a lot of 90s, maybe Livermore, low 90s, and upper 80s in the Tri-Valley and Pleasanton. Same thing for Contra Costa County, the usual areas that do get hot. We're not seeing triple-digit heat just about yet. 90s in Vacaville, 80s over in Yountville, upper 70s in Santa Rosa, and take a look at your 7-day outlook. So we have low 90s for you inland and 70s by the bay, 60s by the coast. But, the following weekend, so when I come back here next weekend, we are seeing close to triple-digit heat once again starting next week. So stay tuned for that. Back to you.
All right, Gail.